Gentlemen, welcome to Fox Sports Lab AFL Round 22. Chief, let's just quickly go through the tips. 3 rounds to go. I'm 4 in front. If we're going to put it in perspective, I'm just out in front. You're chasing an unbeatable bunny. You won't get near me.
Please. Well, I'm going to go for a few different teams today, so I think there might be an opportunity. You'll either beat me by a mile or we'll tighten it up.
All right. Well, we're going to kick it off Friday night. So Sydney and Collingwood at SCG. This one, we know what's at stake. I mean, Sydney, 5 losses in 6 weeks, and they're still sitting on top of the ladder, but 112 points. That's humiliating. So I can only imagine what they've done during the week in terms of their training. And then Collingwood, still that little bit of hope in finals. Are you running with the form team, which is Collingwood, or are you going to cause an upset?
It was a good win last week. I jumped on Collingwood last week to beat the Blues. They were very, very good. They looked after me. I'm going to flip because I've got a feeling you'll stick with the Pies. I'm going with the Swans to break this horrendous run of form. I reckon they would have copped some fierce baking from John Longmire. He's given them a couple of days off. I reckon it's the old go away and think about what you want to do and come back with the right attitude or don't come back at all. So if they don't respond to this week, we can basically put a line through the top team on the ladder. It's ridiculous that they've lost 5 of 6 and still sitting on top, Dicko.
Yeah, it would be ridiculous. Round 22 and you're putting a line through the premiers. For the goal-kicking punters out there, Lachie Schultz in his last few occasions has kicked 4 goals against Sydney. So maybe that's his little bunny side. I am going with Collingwood, Chief. Yes. So we are going a little bit of an upset in the first one on Friday night. But let's go to the Gabba because 9 in a row up against 5 in a row. So it's a game of streaks, as you would say, but they're hard to beat. I'm actually going to kick this off. I'm going with the Giants in the upset because they can smell a top 4 team and a top 4 spot. So hopefully you're going with the Lions and then I can claw another one back.
Oh, I've got it with you. You don't have to claw them back. I'm the one clawing them back, mate. I've got to stick with the Lions at home. But you're right. There's 3 form teams in the comp. There's the Bullies, the Giants, and there are the Lions. So we get to see 2 of them actually in good form, which might give us a bit of a pointer heading towards September because the form guide for everyone else is up and down like a yo-yo. It's going to be a tough game. I think the Giants were good, although they got themselves in real trouble against the Hawks last week. They were very good to get out of it. They wouldn't want to give Brisbane that sort of start.
Let's talk about, just quickly before we leave that game, because I am going with the Giants, Toby Green, Jesse Hogan's now leading the Coleman because Charlie came up with a donut last week, and their little mosquito fleet with Thomas and the like. Will they trouble Brisbane in terms of their backline, the way they're functioning at the moment?
Yeah, it's going to be difficult. Jesse Hogan, as you say, is massive. So Harris Andrews, hopefully generaling the backline for the Lions, is going to have a big job to do. If you stop Jesse Hogan, I think you can stop the Giants at the moment. He's playing extraordinary footy. It's the best footy of his career. It's taken him a long time to get here. It's been an interesting journey, but he is really playing some great footy.
Yep, he certainly is. All right, let's go. Freo and Geelong. I did Freo's game last week. 19 points, 3/4 time. I thought, well, they've got to put a dagger into Essendon's finals hopes. But the Sam Durr and Golden Point got it done. It was at the MCG too, which is a little worrying in terms of they're going to play finals for sure, Freo. But they get this one at home against the Cats. It's a massive game, top 4.
Every time we've seen a team 3 goals up, 20 points up with 10 minutes to play, they've tried to protect it and they've got beaten. Instead of just playing really good football, the football that got you there, and then maybe you might change things in the last couple of minutes, but 10 minutes you can't go defensive. We've seen it too much this year. They won't go defensive back at home. I think they might be a bit too good for the Cats. Cats were okay, but they had to work hard to beat Adelaide down at GMHBA, so their form's not that strong either.
Yeah, I'm going with Fremantle as well. So their last 5 at Optus Stadium, they've won all of those. So certainly a different team at home. They're playing some great footy as well. And Josh Tracy, 3 goals plus in his last 4 of 5 in their game. So he's flying as well. Now, Melbourne, Port Adelaide. Are we going to see some real consistency come with Port Adelaide? Because they've strung 2 together that have been quite impressive in terms of knocking off Carlton. And then on the weekend, that was an absolute demolition. But they do come up against the Melbourne Footy Club and they've got no hope of finals.
Well, this is the game that scares me, Diggo, and I'll tell you why. There's no Stephen May for Melbourne. Port are in great form and they smashed a good team last week. Every time I tip Port, they go like bastards. And every time I tip against Melbourne, they find a way to beat a top team and play some great footy. but I'm going with Port. And if Melbourne do it to me again, seriously, I'll just have to give up tipping because without Stephen May and Georgiades and his company up forward for Port playing so well, they have to win this one, don't they?
Yeah, I'm tipping Port as well. It's just one they can't drop. Their defence has just been phenomenal. I mean, Sydney didn't look like scoring at all in terms of their fanatical defence. And then previous to that, their second half, they kept Carlton to 11 points. So that's the area of the game. It was always a question mark for me, and they've tightened that up. But you mentioned Georgiades, then you got Asava Radaglia, who's gone forward the last 2 weeks, and then Dixon's going, I'll just take the third bunny and get a couple on him as well. So they're looking pretty potent up there. Now, this is where this will test your loyalty. Hawks, Carlton, MCG, Sunday. They dropped one they shouldn't have against the Giants, but their run home is Carlton, Richmond and North. So this is massive, not only for the Hawks, but Carlton are slowly falling off a cliff.
They are, and I'm sticking with the Hawks to go. Yep. I love the way they're playing. They played really good footy up in Canberra last week, but let it slip. It was really poor. Again, they're another one. 3 goals up with 10 minutes to go, and they go into their shell. Just too many teams not learning. You've got to stick with the footy that actually gets you in position. So I'm going to go with the Hawks. Honestly, I can't put a handle on the Blues. It was 6 weeks ago. We said it was Sydney's to lose, and we said Carlton was the main threat.
Yep.
Well, those two teams have dropped off the edge of the planet. I mean, they look very slow, the Blues. So I'm going to stick with the Hawks. I think they can outrun them.
Yep, I'm with you. So like Sydney's form, we mentioned, 5 losses in 6 weeks. They're 4 losses in 5 weeks.
Yeah.
But their premiership profile, like the quadrant and how they say over the last 20 years sides have won it, they're not even in the same suburb as that. So it would be some resurgence from 8th position right now. Yeah. So likely I'm going to tip the Hawks as well for them to keep their finals hopes alive. Let's whip through the other games, Chief. Hopefully you got a few upsets here. North and Eagles?
Well, this is a tough one. Flip the coin. Down in Tassie, but I will go with North, the home team. Eagles playing some decent football. North being very competitive. I'll stick with North.
I'm going with the Eagles, so there's an upset. Yes. Now, Bombers and Suns. Can the Suns, for the first time, hallelujah, win one away?
Wouldn't back the Suns with monopoly money away from home. You got to be kidding me. Mate, they can't go to Perth and beat the Eagles. You think they're going to come to Melbourne and beat the Bombers? Give me a spell. Dimmer's got a lot of work to do. He got too many spuds up there, mate.
Wouldn't buy it with monopoly money. So Oxford Street's done up for grabs. I love it. I'm going with the Bombers as well. Tigers and Saints. Now, Dusty retiring. We know when a legend retires. He's not playing. He's not going to be at the G. But I'm actually going to tip the Tigers in this one.
Why?
Because of that little emotional, their favourite son over the last 15 years.
They didn't get up for him in his last game. Why are they going to get up the week after?
Well, footy's a funny thing. He's leaving the club. Let's pay some respect. And, he's
instead of paying our respect last week while you're playing, let's maybe throw some respect your way once we've booed you out the door with your tail between your legs.
Once you've taken your keys and you've whipped out a punt row, we'll pay you some respect.
You're right. But you're right. I mean, St Kilda's form line, who would know? They've been up and down again like a yo-yo. But I will go with the Saints only because I think the Tigers are really struggling. Yep.
All right. And to finish it off, Crows and Bulldogs.
Bullies. I mentioned earlier one of the form teams of the comp. They are absolutely flying. They've got a forward line that is loaded with marking options, crumbing options, midfield up and about. Hard to see them getting beaten.
Yep, I'm with you. Bulldogs
in that one. Different tips there, Diggo.
What's that? Yeah, there's
3 or 4 different.
No, I'm 4 in front and we're 4 different. And I've never seen you follow the tips so close. I walk into Fox and you go, fishy. Reeling me in. Let's go big call time. So I'll kick it off. Fremantle, I said, was going to win. So I'll have Fremantle to win and I'll have Josh Tracy to kick 4+. So nice and juicy. And just for the punters out there, we did get our big calls up last week. So that was nice and healthy. How are you contributing this week?
Well, I'm going to follow up. You went Georgiades 4+ last week.
Yep.
I think you can back it up with another 4 into a Port win at the MCG over the Ds.
All right, I like that. 2 close watches on teams winning and the forwards filling their boots. Chief, appreciate your time. Good luck on your call across the weekend.
Go the tips.
See you next week.
Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.